I'm Jeff Philbin, this is Dinner DeeAs, and today we're doing a duo of ideas for dinner. First up, the perfect pantry cleaning recipe for when you can't face or afford another trip to the grocery store. Then bright, bold flavors combined in a family recipe for pan-seared pork chops. My guest today in the Dinner DeeAs kitchen is Vinny Andreotti. Why, yes, he's Italian. How'd you guess that one? He's also the cousin Vinny, whose sandwich shop opened to rave reviews after its start as a ghost kitchen, even landing itself a spot in the Michelin Guide. I am so excited to have you here.
Happy to be
so
here.
proud of your successes and everything that's happened for you, because this is a really cool story for you guys. Vinny is setting the sandwiches to one side today as he shares 2 easy ideas for dinner. And in a moment, we're going to make his spaghetti a Limone, which he describes as a perfect way to clean out the pantry. Then later, his pan-seared pork chops with garlic white wine sauce topped with cherry peppers, which you said is one of your favorites, that when you were growing up, you just had to have this dish, and a staple from where you grew up.
All the time, whether it was at home with my mom making it or at a few restaurants that are on Long Island, each one makes the best version.
Okay.
So this right here definitely does hit home every single time you have it.
Oh, I absolutely love it. We're going to get to that one in a little bit, but first, let's get started, because you've already started with your pasta over here. We've got this boiling already for us to now start kind of working and creating a nice sauce for it. Right. So what do we got going?
So the first thing we'll do is we'll take the zest of a lemon here, all right, and then we'll just juice that. So we'll get the pan going, we'll add some garlic, we'll hit it with some butter and some lemon juice, and then once that pasta is ready, we will add that straight to it.
It sounds like it's just a simple, clean, bright dish.
Right. Nothing heavy, nothing that's going to overpower. You could easily have another meal after it, like a pan-seared pork chop. But most importantly, if you just came home from work and you don't feel like going out again.
Totally.
You might have garlic, you might have some lemon, you've got some cheese, you got some oil, you have a thing of pasta you haven't cooked in a little bit.
And it seems like it could be a lot quicker than saying like, oh, hey, I'm gonna make another spaghetti, or it's like, okay, like, no, enjoy spaghetti for what it could be without having to have, a red sauce behind it. This is just...
And especially when you say red sauce, especially if it's from a jar.
Exactly, like this is like fresh, clean, doing it right.
Correct. All right, so some bright flavors in there. Juice that. And last one. Do you have a towel for me, my good sir?
I can definitely get you.
Thank you.
So, you're trading in a sandwich today to make an entree like this. I mean, is it a little weird for you to kind of put this down? Because I have been to the restaurant. I was there on opening day because I was so excited to see what you guys were going to be doing. And it's an amazing spot. And I'm so proud of all your successes and everything.
That.
But, I mean, you guys are like really, really good with sandwiches right now. Like, is this weird for you to do an entree?
Not at all. I mean, I actually come from fine dining. I started a private dining service, and I was running that for years before COVID hit. And then after COVID, I decided to put myself into restaurants, working in kitchens there. So my typical, cooking will be something of rather extensive and expansive recipes and techniques.
Right on.
But when it came down to me making my own, it was all about making food that I love, that I grew up with, and, just take some of the tricks and tips that I've learned in fine dining and apply that to this casual dining that just amplifies flavor.
Man, I love it, because when I was out there on the opening day for you guys, you and your partners were out there with, I'll never forget, it was the toasted ravioli that you were passing around to all the guests that were waiting in line. And that was something that was a treat, but was the biggest treat that I saw, and the appreciation I have for those in this industry, it was the pride and the joy in the faces. Your team was smiling and happy and so excited to say, try this. Try this toasted ravioli. As simple as it was of just that, it was the gesture that went so far. Right. So what do we need to do next?
So now that we have that pan kind of going, we're going to add a little bit of oil to it.
Okay.
All right. Add this garlic right here. We'll get that going for about a minute. Let that toast. All right. Now let's hit it with some butter. And as you know in cooking, right, more butter is more flavor.
Absolutely. Okay.
Pasta's just about there anyway.
Okay.
Perfect time to now add lemon juice.
Okay.
All right, so what we'll do next. So we're using tongs here instead of straining out the pasta because we're going to be collecting some of the pasta water. So that starch in the pasta water is going to now help the sauce cling much better.
I love it.
To said sauce and pasta.
I love that.
All right. All right, now you can take this, vigorously mix that around in there.
Okay.
All right, now we'll hit it with some cheese. Let that cook down. Could actually use a little bit of water now, just to kind of loosen it up.
Absolutely.
And as the cheese melts and as the butter emulsifies with the acid from the lemon juice, it's going to make a little bit of a creamy sauce for you.
I mean, super quick.
Easy.
Super quick.
Right.
And the smells, you get all of like that citrus burst there that's just kind of like going. You had the hint of the garlic. And like right here, all you need is just like a fork and a spoon. Twirl it around on the plate and like you're ready to rock and roll.
And you're eating.
To get Cousin Vinny's recipes to feed your family, head to our website, dinnerdeas.com. We have both recipes ready to print with all the amounts and ingredients. Find us by using the QR code down there. All you have to do is open the regular camera app on your phone, point at the TV, and when that box is in frame, a link to us will appear right on your phone. Okay, how's this looking? Is this starting to thicken up and get to that consistency you want?
Oh yeah, that's right where you want it. So towards the end, I'll add just a little bit of some parsley in there that we'll garnish with it later on as well. But just to kind of get it all mixed in beforehand, that little bright, fresh popping from the parsley. Can't get enough of that.
I love that. I love it.
All right, and it also adds a little contrast to it as well.
Absolutely. And I mean, right there, you got dinner done.
You got dinner.
You got dinner done. You want to plate this up?
Absolutely. Let's just get this going here.
Okay.
And sure, we can make it all nice and start swirling stuff into ladles.
As I was literally starting to set it into swirl, I'm not gonna lie. All right. So you're saying, nah, man, just go straight in.
Right on.
Up. And then
There you go.
Boom.
Right, a little flick of the wrist isn't gonna. That's not hurting nobody.
It's that little twist.
There you go. Right, just lets people know it's even better.
There you go, my friend.
A little volume going up.
That's it.
Right. Right on top.
And just that little bit of parsley right there to finish that. Man, that's awesome. That looks absolutely fantastic. That looks so good. Man, you really, I gotta twirl with this for this. Get a bite?
Sure.
There you are, my friend. That's bright. That's creamy.
Cheesy.
Cheesy. You got that movement still on the plate. Dude, that is killer. Killer, killer, killer. And you know what's gonna go really well with that?
Anything.
I mean, but in the corner of my eye, I have been seeing these beautiful pork chops. So what do we need to do with these pork chops?
So what we'll do with the pork chops really quick is we're gonna, if you could bring those over here, my good sir.
I got you, chef.
We'll score the fat along the side here.
And what will that do for this dish? What will scoring the fat do?
So when you place the pork chop down and it starts searing, what's gonna happen is the fat starts rendering. The fat contracts a lot more than the meat itself. So instead of it now
kind of curling up within
Correct.
it, now it has
Right.
an area, so that way then you still have surface to meet with that heat, to meet with the surface
And now it's
from
all
the pan
even.
to the pork, even cooking. Okay.
That's all we're really looking for.
Okay.
All right, so just where there is visible fat, and especially if you see it's deep white right there, but along right here.
You might
you're
go
all
just
fine.
a little bit more for it. Okay. What do we need to do next with it then?
Wash my hands. Right, we run a clean operation.
That's the only way to do it right. It's the only way to do it right. Okay.
All right, so salt. All right, we'll season these guys up. And given the thickness, right, we'll definitely go a little heavier.
Okay.
And you also want to make sure you know it's there. Right, because nothing's worse than under-seasoned.
Absolutely. And I mean, with salt with pork, the fat right there, you need that. You need to really kind of bring a little bit more flavor behind it.
Yep.
Salt, simple, clean, but oh, so delicious right there.
Yep, and typically with pork, I'll avoid putting pepper on too early
Okay.
because it has a tendency to burn.
Okay.
Right? But the other thing with pork, because we're not searing it like a steak, there's no such thing as medium rare unless you're getting some really high quality heritage pork.
Yeah.
The pan will have that just at medium heat, nothing higher.
Yeah.
Because we'll take a little bit more time on each side, but it's not getting a hard sear, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's really going to burn on each side, and then you get left with an undercooked inside.
Yeah, and then like you also might have something that might be kind of chewy and tough because like
Correct.
I'm looking at these bad boys. These are big. These are
Big.
thick cut.
Yeah.
That's intentional for this dish too. Okay. All right. Well, you ready to go?
Yes, sir. So let's get a little bit of oil in here.
Okay.
All right, definitely won't lower that though.
What's the heat that you like to have for this one here? You say?
So nothing higher than medium.
Okay.
I don't know this stove.
Sure.
But once you start seeing smoking, like that's pretty much, as high as you'd want it to be. Otherwise, then we're going to be in the land where we don't want to be.
Yeah.
Right,
Because
that
you could always
chewy-
add. You can't
Correct.
take back.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
All right. So we'll get these right on in.
Oh yeah. That sound right there. That sizzle.
That love.
That's all love right there. Now, pork chops this thick. What are we thinking? How long do they need to be on the side for?
About 5 minutes per side.
5 minutes per side.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Vinny shows us the sauce he does for his pork chops ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs with a double header of ideas for dinner from Cousin Vinny. Well, we're not strictly family, but as anyone who's been to the sandwich shop that shares his name knows, his food makes you feel like family. Today he's sharing 2 recipes with no bread in sight, a really, really quick spaghetti alla limone, which we're already done with, and pork chops with a garlic white wine sauce topped with cherry peppers. Before the break, we got our spaghetti cooking first, then zested and juiced some lemon, heated olive oil and sauteed garlic, then added butter, and some of the pasta straight from the pot, no draining, because we saved the water to add to the sauce, along with grated Parmesan cheese and a finishing touch of chopped parsley, and that was dinner number 1. Then we got working on the pork chops, scoring the fat first, then seasoning with salt only. Vinny's tip there, since the pepper can burn, and got them in a medium heat pan, flipping them for about 5 minutes per side, and I mean, my man, like this is like a work of art. Like these colors right now, this crust right here. I mean, this is
The stuff of legends.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, now the scoring. You think that it helped here?
Absolutely. I mean, that's just even browning. Can't ask for anything more.
You really can't. And all that fat has also rendered down, so that's going to become really nice. So I can take this off and just let this rest now.
It'd be a lot cooler if you do.
All right, cool.
There you go.
And look at that.
Nice.
Okay. What can we do next with this pan?
All right. Next up, we're going to add some shallot. All right, right on in.
Okay.
A little smidge more heat. All right, so we're going to cook this down, soften it up in that nice, that's a lot of rendered pork fat.
That's what I'm saying.
fantastic.
All that flavor is
Yeah.
just going to come together so nicely.
I mean, I tell people I don't make food that's good for you. I just make good food.
Okay, so
Like, fat is flavor.
Fat is flavor.
Right.
Fat can be included in the equation.
That's always invited to the party for me.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get that cooking down for a minute there.
Okay.
We also chopped up some garlic here. So I add the garlic after the shallot cooks down a little bit because garlic has also a propensity to burn.
Yeah.
Right, you don't want to do that because once you get bitter garlic, now you're really having a bad time.
It changes the entire complexity
Everything,
of the dish. Yeah.
everything. So, avoid that like the plague.
Okay. But don't avoid these smells right now.
No.
This is really good.
I was gonna say, if only there was a little fan right here.
Just kind of like waft it.
Right.
Just bring it in and just waft. All right, so the shallot's really starting to cook here now.
All right,
We
now
got
we'll
some
hit it with
garlic.
some garlic.
Okay.
We'll get that moving.
Okay.
Right now we can jack the heat up a little bit more.
Even more now. Okay.
Yep. Because now it's about building the sauce, right? So you
Okay.
want to develop a little bit of the fond on the bottom of the pan,
Yeah.
right? You want that caramelization going there. But then once we hit it with the white wine as well as the chicken stock, you want there to be a perfect environment for it to start kind of coming up the temp so that it starts reducing for you, condensing these flavors even more now.
Oh, come on now. You're talking my language and their language too. I mean, all right. So is this good to start bringing on more flavor here?
Most certainly.
Okay.
That's when we add a couple of these cherry peppers right here.
Now, cherry peppers, like, what if someone hasn't had a cherry pepper? I mean, are we talking heat? We talking sweet? We're talking what?
You're talking something in the middle of heat and zingy.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's in a vinegar brine. So this actually goes with some of our sandwiches that we have at the shop because it's not overpowering heat.
Yeah.
It's something that can invite 85% of people, where it's, hey, you can still try it. Yes, there's a pepper in it, but it's not a habanero.
But it's necessary because that vinegar brine you're speaking about, that's going to cut down from so much of that fat that's happening with that pork,
100%.
those flavors, and that's really where it's going to have balance. So
and it amplifies because of that balance.
And it amplifies because of that. So easy to find in a grocery store?
You'll always find them at home very easily.
Yeah.
Down here, dime a dozen sometimes.
Okay.
A lot of times I find it like it's already in like a cherry pepper relish.
Yeah.
Right? But it's the same exact thing. They're just ground.
Okay.
Right? But if you can find either whole or sliced cherry peppers, you're going to have a good time.
Okay. Very cool.
So now the next thing we're going to do here, we're going to hit it with some white wine.
That smells all so good.
Yeah.
Grab the recipe for Vinny's pork chops and this garlic white wine sauce at dinnerdeas.com. We also have his recipe for the spaghetti he made earlier. Just scan the QR code on the screen right now to find us and follow along on your phone. So now this is going to help deglaze the pan. This is going to start lifting up that fond there from the bottom there, the garlic and the shallots and everything.
Right.
Oh.
But then also as the alcohol cooks off, now you start getting all those notes from the wine in itself. We used a Pinot Grigio, so you're getting also like citrus notes and other just light, crisp, goodness coming out of it.
Come on now, folks. We got to take a quick break while we let the white wine do its thing. When we come back, though, more butter as we simmer our sauce ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Well, welcome back to Dinner DeeAs with double the ideas for dinner today, thanks to Vinny Andreotti, the Vinny of Cousin Vinny's, the Tampa sandwich shop that everyone's talking about. But sandwiches are off the menu today as he's making us 2 easy ideas for dinner. Earlier, we did a simple spaghetti à la Limone, and now we're working on his recipe for pork chops with a garlic white wine sauce topped with cherry peppers. Before the break, we got our finished chops out of the pan so we could cook up some shallots, garlic, and some sliced cherry peppers in the pork fat left in the pan. Adding in just a little Pinot Grigio to deglaze it, and we let that simmer during the break, and you can still hear it, see it, and just everything's just working, dude.
Wine's reduced nicely, everything's condensed in there. So now, a little bit of chicken stock here.
Oh, come
just
on.
to add some full body, how you doing to it. All right, so the same thing here, we're gonna now let this reduce as that's now gonna really bring a lot of balance to that acidity that's kind of ripping through all that between the wine, the cherry peppers, and the vinegar.
It's everything right now. And like cherry peppers. I love cherry peppers. You love cherry peppers. Now, do you get to play with cherry peppers a lot with the sandwiches?
I mean, that's something that I'm definitely gonna be expanding into.
Okay. Grab the recipe for this sauce plus the spaghetti we made earlier at dinnerdeas.com. Just scan the QR code in the corner of the screen to follow along on your phone. Now this looks beautiful. It actually looks like it's reduced quite a bit here.
Very much
You
so.
think that we're ready to add a little bit more? I see butter over there.
I mean, hey, that's always invited to the
okay,
party.
come on. Let's throw a little butter in
All
here.
right, but now what is important to do, we're actually gonna turn the heat off.
Heat off.
Okay, heat off. And because this has been kind of going, we're
Yeah.
gonna take it off the heat too, because we're not trying to scorch the butter, we're trying to now slowly melt it down because it's so acidic. Now we're making an emulsified pan sauce.
Very good.
Right, so this is something that it
Taking it off the heat will
sounds
help
like
that.
I am making something crazy.
Yeah.
Anyone can do this, and
It
you can
works.
impress your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whomever it might be.
Yeah.
Right? Very simply, just by a little bit of, extra how you do. Like
Come on
nothing
now.
crazy.
So a little butter at a
Right,
time.
exactly.
About a knob of fruit, or
Right,
a
a
couple
knob or
at a
two,
time.
and
Whisk it
now-
in and then slowly start incorporating more.
Correct.
To help thicken
right?
this.
So you could add the butter as I am, just stirring it around.
I will do just that. One last break to take while our sauce finishes up and we get it all on the plate when we come back ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs with 2 ideas for dinner in just 30 minutes. Both from our friend Vinny Andreotti from acclaimed Tampa sandwich shop Cousin Vinny's. And we're just finished up his recipe for the pork chops with garlic, white wine sauce, and cherry peppers. Before the break, we added chicken stock to our sauce, let it reduce further, and then started adding butter, 1 tablespoon at a time, and finished up during the break. And I mean, it looks absolutely beautiful. It's just velvety looking. It just looks like it's got this beautiful shine.
Exactly. So
you think it's ready to meet our friend, Mr. Pork Chop?
I was hoping you asked.
Music to my ear.
All right, so let's just get this right on over here.
Oh.
All right. We'll scoop down. We'll get a nice balance of sauce and cherry peppers to go right on top.
Okay.
All right, and now a little minor saturation action here.
So you like to have a little bit extra? You
Of
like
course.
a little bit extra?
Right.
Okay, all right.
That's just a feeling of home. It just smells like my house right now.
Really?
This is phenomenal, yeah. I'm nostalgic.
Man, I'm coming over then, dude. You get over here to my house right over here in the Dinner DeeAs kitchen. I'm coming to yours now more. All right, so we got some parsley that's going right on top for a nice little finishing touch.
All right.
What else?
And then, just to finish it, a nice little lemon cheek.
Oh, come on now, dude. Now you're just teasing us. That looks absolutely stunning. Make sure to grab the recipe for this Long Island classic and the simple spaghetti we start with at dinnerdeas.com, where we also have a link to Cousin Vinny's and the Michelin entry that gave them all a very well-deserved glowing review. I'm Jeff Philbin. See you next time with more ideas for dinner, as we call them, Dinner DeeAs. Digging into this one?
Absolutely.
Let's